This is the lab interpretation guide for the DestinyWell Full Spectrum Food Sensitivity Profile. Many people have food sensitivities. It's often the case that a person is sensitive to more than one food. In this situation, testing for food sensitivities can be especially helpful because if you eliminate things one at a time, you'll always have one or more things you're still reacting to, and you may not be able to tell that you're any better off when you've eliminated one or two things while the others remain. Multiple food sensitivities to many items is a different concern. It often indicates a loss of tolerance by the immune system and inability of the immune system to differentiate friend from foe. Classic allergic responses depend on the IgE sensitivity syndrome. IgE is forever or almost forever. That part of the immune system remembers things for years and years. A typical response would be you eat strawberries and then you get hives, or you take penicillin and you get airway swelling and asthma, or even anaphylactic shock. IgG sensitivities tend to be more subtle. They're slower in onset, usually hours to days instead of minutes to hours, and they may encompass things like GI symptoms or headaches or other diseases. To figure these things out, the elimination diet is the gold standard. You eliminate everything but the most basic non-sensitizing foods, and then you gradually re-challenge yourself for them one at a time and see which, if any, cause symptoms. Sometimes IgG positives are blocking antibody as opposed to an ongoing problem. For instance, if you're allergic to a specific grass pollen and you take allergy shots or treatments, then often you'll develop IgG blocking antibodies that prevent the IgE response. IgG responses may go away in 6 to 12 months if you're not exposed to that, whereas IgE generally does not. There's more controversy about IgG and innate immune system testing, but we've found that it can be helpful in cases that are difficult to explain when we're looking for root causes and sensitivities. In combination with the elimination diet, it's a very powerful tool. Food sensitivities and reactions fall into three broad groups. There are those based on the adaptive immune system. That's the part of the immune system that produces IgE and IgG. It's the best understood and the best studied. Then there can be reactions based on the innate immune system. That's a cell-based, more primitive system, but it can still cause reactions and symptoms in many people. Then you can also have non-immune mediated problems. Those are things like an enzyme deficiency, so you don't have enzymes to digest protein or fat. They go downstream and cause havoc. Medicines and substances can cause chemical effects. They might be an acid or a base and burn your stomach, or they can have pharmacologic effects where they interact with receptors and almost act like a drug. The most common food sensitivity reactions are to wheat, corn, milk and dairy, soy, nuts and peanuts, fish and shellfish, and citrus. When we look at the difference between IgE and IgG or other food sensitivity reactions, we see that the immune response in the IgG food allergy is based on production of IgE antibodies and the release of histamine and other substances. Whereas in the IgG food allergies, it's the production of IgG antibodies which release different types of inflammatory mediators triggered by the IgG. The nature of the symptoms: food allergies typically cause hives, red skin, anaphylactic reactions, or swelling in the mucous membranes like the lips or the throat. IgG food sensitivities are thought to be more associated with inflammatory ailments, Crohn's disease, constipation, diarrhea, chronic skin conditions like eczema, irritable bowel syndrome, migraines, obesity, and psoriasis. When the IgE reactions occur, it's usually immediately within a few minutes. IgG food allergies and sensitivities can start after several hours to even as late as 3 days later. The diagnostic tests for IgE food sensitivity have been around for a long time. They include skin testing with prick type tests. They also have blood tests for IgE, and a food challenge test can also be helpful. For IgG food sensitivities, there's an IgG blood test that's not been around as long, but it does seem to be helpful in many people. And then a food challenge using an elimination diet is the gold standard. The food groupings that are tested on the DestinyWell food sensitivity test include dairy, egg, fish, seafood, fruit, grains containing gluten, grains not containing gluten, herbs and spices, meat, miscellaneous group, nuts and seeds, and vegetables. IgG food sensitivities can be trickier to sort out since they don't cause as dramatic symptoms, and they may be delayed in onset by many hours to days. However, they can help explain some chronic diseases as a root cause, and identifying and eliminate them can help either resolve or greatly improve a number of different conditions. The test looks at IgG sensitivity reactions to 96 different foods. There are meats and poultry and fish, which are separate groups, beverages, such as coffee, tea, and cocoa, and then vegetables have a large grouping, as do fruits. Legumes and pulses are separated in their own group, as are nuts, seeds, and oils, and then dairy and egg, which many people react to. And then some of the most reactive groups are the grains and starches. The corn, oats, especially wheat, gluten is tested separately, and then rice, among others. And then there's a category also for spices. IgG food sensitivity reporting comes back in 4 categories. The reddish color is high reactivity, orange is moderate reactivity, low is purple, and no reactivity, which is hopefully the largest group for you, is in green. If, on the other hand, the green category has very few in it and you react to many different foods, then that means you may have lost your ability to tell friend from foe and your immune system is targeting many different things. So we often focus most on the high and moderate reactivity, and then we try to pay attention to your reactions when you actually eat these foods or do an elimination diet or some other way where we sort out whether you're actually reacting to these or whether you just have antibodies to them. At DestinyWell, we've been extremely fortunate to find some amazingly good coaches, people with backgrounds of success in varied fields who bring all sorts of resources and talent and skill to help you. These folks have many years of clinical experience, and they know how to be of assistance at every step of the way, from motivation to connecting you with the right resources to finding things that you need to get you on your journey. To learn more, go to DestinyWell.com/coaching to meet our team and find out how they can be of service to you.